So, shared universes are kind of a big thing in Hollywood at the moment. Um, there are some fairly big ones, obviously, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe being the biggest. Um, there's also the East Trail 117 trilogy, which is Unbreakable from 2000, and then more recently Split and Glass. The DCEU, obviously. Um, they're trying to salvage that. Um, there's the MonsterVerse, which has like Godzilla and King Kong, and all associated properties. The Harry Potter Wizarding World is a big one, because it not only involves the Harry Potter movies and books and whatever, but also now the Fantastic Beast films. And then there's Dark Universe. That's what we're going to talk about today. What's up, guys? I do apologise for the glare that my light is giving off. I did try to record this earlier in the day, and it just didn't feel right when I was about to upload it, so I'm refilming now. Anyway, on to topic. The Dark Universe went through development hell twice, and they're now taking their time to make sure that the next monster movie that Universal puts out, they're happy with and is actually going to be a good film. The first one was Dracula Untold. I have the DVDs just here. So the first one was Dracula Untold. The end scene sets up a potential for it to be part of the shared universe, and really Dracula should have been the one I started off with. It had a nice backstory and a self-contained story. It didn't do well at the box office, and that's really what they're looking for. But it did have a nice self-contained story in it, and then at the end sort of referenced that because he's a vampire, he's going to live on forever. And yeah, it sort of set up this, oh hang on, this could lead to a sequel, and in the sequel they could have explored the wider universe. That didn't work because of box office failings and critical, like negative reviews from critics. So then they obviously tried with The Mummy. There's a tin at my feet that should not be there. Yeah, so they tried with The Mummy. They really just went for universe building in that. They put in this like secret society of hunters. They put in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They had the Invisible Man in there. They had there was one other character from the Universal Monsters. Can't think of his name, but he was in there. I will look it up. I'll put it in the description. But he was there. And then obviously there was the Mummy itself. And then that didn't do well, so now they're rethinking on how to make Bride of Frankenstein, which is the next film that they're going to put out. But I got to thinking, well, obviously they're looking at doing Dracula, they're obviously looking at doing The Mummy, there's obviously plans for some version of Frankenstein, then, as I just said, Jekyll and Hyde, the Invisible Man. Who else fits into this group of freaks, basically? So I had a look on Wikipedia, as always, excellent starting point. And some of the characters that ended up being involved in this might actually surprise you. So we've got the big ones, the Phantom of the Opera, then Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Gillman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and then other characters such as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, not obviously the Disney version. The Man Who Laughs would have been in there. He's the character that the Joker from Batman is based on. There would have been sorry, just going through my list. There was a killer in there called the Creeper. He's not related to the Jeepers Creepers films, but he was in there. And yeah, so there were a couple of characters. Let me just see, scroll down, see if that information that I can't remember is down here. Yes, so Frankenstein's monster was the other one that I couldn't think of. They'd already cast him. So yeah, so it says here, Dark Universe is a term given by Universal Pictures to their planned cinematic universe, which will be based on the classical Universal Monsters film series, which obviously, as I said last time when I tried to film this, it started in 1923 with Hunchback of Notre Dame, and then 1925 was the next one with Phantom of the Opera. It wasn't until like 1931, so like nearly 10 years after they started making monster movies, that they even made Dracula. And he was the next big name in sort of horror monsters to get a movie. So they tried starting with Dracula Untold. That didn't do well, so they decided to move on with The Mummy. And then they included characters such as I said before, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Frankenstein's monster, the Invisible Man, and then the Mummy itself, as well as the group of hunters. And they were planning on introducing the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. As I have said before, the last thing it says on this page is that by January 2018, development on the film progressed with the current, I believe he's the current director, hiring a production team consisting of a cinematographer, production designer, a composer, and a costume designer. In May of this year, an artist was announced from his social media that he had attended a meeting with the studio and will collaborate on the Dark Universe films moving forward. Successful film horror producer Jason Blum has publicly expressed an interest. So from the last we've heard from it, the Dark Universe looks to be heading in an okay direction. So whenever they decide to release those films, particularly like Bride of Frankenstein being the next one, whenever they decide to start work on that and release that, hopefully it doesn't suffer from the same thing that has plagued the last two entries, because I honestly want this to succeed more than I want to watch the next Marvel movie, which, I mean, kind of says something. Literally 4 things in my background have Marvel characters on them, so obviously that's a big thing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the potential future of the Dark Universe? Do you think they should continue with trying to make a shared universe out of these monsters, or what was that? Out of these monsters, or do you think they should just continue to make solo films based on the monsters and not try to connect them in a big universe thing? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Before I go, I do want to say that, speaking of shared universes, in November, Crimes of Grindelwald comes out, and I'm going to be talking about that. I have pre-ordered the screenplay, and also hopefully the trailer for Avengers 4 will drop. I read a couple of articles yesterday that said that it might drop maybe on the 29th. If it does, I will be doing a trailer reaction on my channel. So if you want to see that, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get an alert when I upload those videos. And if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Really means a lot. And until next time, guys, all hail the king.